Okay, welcome to the second episode of my drive home. Today I thought I'd mention my younger brother who has been nagging for a while now about me buying a Switch, which I have not yet done. He keeps asking, are you going to buy a Switch now? When are you going to buy a Switch? Have you gotten a Switch yet? By text messaging me or when he calls me, he always brings it up. He's a very, very big Nintendo fan. But I haven't bought one yet. I don't intend to buy one anytime soon. And so I just wanted to explain the reason why. And that's because the Switch is absolutely a system that was not made for me. And what do I mean by that? I mean that the Switch is designed for someone that cares to take a console experience with them anywhere. Well, clearly, in this sort of traffic as I'm driving, I'm not going to be playing the thing. And there's not really any use for me to have a console that doubles as a portable. I will never, ever use it as a portable. So whatever technology they put into it as the screen and the docking and all of that, I have no use for it. The controllers on the side, the Joy-Cons, I can tell you as soon as I brought it home, if the thing was in the dock, I'd pop that thing in the dock, I'd take those Joy-Cons out, and I'd throw them in a box, and I don't care if I ever see them again. They look horrible. They look awful. They don't look like anything I'd ever want to use. So that would mean that right out of the gate, if I even wanted to touch the thing, I'd have to buy the extra $70 Pro controller. So already we're looking at an extra $70, and plus I'm also likely to get the larger SD card to go in there because every system I've got fills up very quickly. I've already got a PS4 Pro with the terabyte hard drive in it, and it's completely full. I've got an Xbox 360 with I think it's a 250 gig. I don't think it's a 500. I think it's a 250. The second version of it, but it's been full. That thing with all the stuff that they gave out on the gold program and all that sort of thing. I have a lot of stuff on there, and it is completely full. And so beyond that, I'd have to buy the system, the game, an extra controller, and this SD card right out of the gate. And it's got a lot of technology in it that I would never use. HD Rumble. I don't even like regular Rumble. If I can turn it off, I usually do. I don't want it in my game. The only thing I ever really played with Rumble is on the Dreamcast. I put the Rumble packs in my guns, so they would shake a little bit when you pulled the trigger. That was a little bit fun. But I don't have any interest. I just want a normal ass system, and I don't really understand why that's really asking too much. But it's just not the gimmick that's being sold to me right now, I guess, and that they're interested in catering to, of just a system. If it was just the system and a Pro controller and all that tech for the screen and the Joy-Cons was taken out and had I'm not even asking for a miracle, I'll just say a decent sized hard drive in it. We'll say 250 gigs, just like the Xbox 360. I would be very happy. Of course, I'd expect it to be cheaper than what it is now, because I have to imagine a lot of that cost goes into that damn screen. And it's just not worth the money for me, and it's not going to be worth the money for me for a while. Now, there are games coming down the pipeline. Splatoon 2 is coming out, and I enjoyed the first one well enough on Wii U. My younger daughter, though, is ridiculously good at that game. She's a savant at that game. She does and can beat me fairly in the two-player mode. And she's beaten the game. She's very young. It's astounding to watch her play that game the way she does. And if she ever gets wind that there's a sequel coming out, it may be difficult to not have that in the house. And I know that's coming up very soon, so we'll see. And after E3, my younger brother's, all right, you got to get a Switch now when Metroid Prime 4 was announced. And I was like, well, I'm happy, but it's a title screen. We're still looking at years away before that thing completely gels into a final game, and I have to start worrying about whether or not I'm going to get the system to play it. So anyway, that's why I'm just not itching to buy this thing. There's not really any other games on it that I care to play. Zelda's on it, but I honestly have a lot of mixed feelings about that game too. I haven't played it yet, but all the reasons people talk about loving the game are reasons why I would think I wouldn't like it. One of the things to talk about is the breakable weapons. Well, that's really helps you get an experience with different weapons. It encourages you to fight different ways. It sounds awful to me. I would like to be able to get one weapon and keep using it, as opposed to getting a weapon I like, running through the field or overworld or whatever you want to consider it in that game, and seeing an enemy and going, oh, I better avoid that fight because I don't want to break my weapon. It, to me, would discourage you engaging in combat, which sounds awful. Beyond that, there's also, what I understand, not really any music in the game. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I've heard, and from what I've seen, in the overworld as you're running around the world, there's not any thematic music playing in the background, which is one of the things I did not like about Ocarina of Time. Even though it did have music, it was a little bit more subdued than your regular Zelda theme. And I want the regular Zelda theme. As, oh, it would be too repetitive. Well, find a way to make it less repetitive. Elongate it. You can do that. The things I like about Zelda, they seem to be taking those away in favor of other things. And just like every other time a Zelda game comes out, people worship it. I remember when Skyward Sword came out, people worshipped it. I remember that the IGN review called it the best Zelda game ever made, and like the first lines, oh, I guess I gotta get it. And it was very clear very fast it was not the best Zelda game ever made. And I think everyone knows now that everyone got wrapped up in it's a new Zelda, Nintendo has blessed us with this new game. And they're very good. This is not a thing where I'm like, oh, it was terrible. But it's just very difficult to gauge what the reality is around a Zelda game when you've got Nintendo fans and all the hype that they're spinning around these things. Anyway, that's a Zelda rant that I guess I tacked on to this Switch rant. But right now, I just don't see it as at all a good cost-benefit analysis buy for me. I think I'd probably be better off getting a Xbox One, which I don't have. But shoot, I've already got tons of games available on it because of my Xbox Live Gold subscription on 360. I've got all those games. I go ahead and download them. I buy them, put them in my cart, and do all that sort of thing online. So I've got a library of games I would have right out the gate if I got an Xbox One. But anyway, I'll stop boring you with all that. Thanks again for joining me today on my drive home. And I'll talk to you soon, again, assuming I don't die in a wreck.